Alright, welcome back to another review, and today I've got Sully. Now, this is directed by Clint Eastwood. Of course, we stars Tom Hanks and Aaron Eckhart. Hi, my name is Henry, and I watched the movie Sully, which is based on the true life events of the airliner that went down at the Hudson River back in 2009. We all knew that the movie was going to come out of all of this, and sure enough, here it is. The movie itself, for me, I guess it was a predictable movie. We knew what was going on. We saw the news, we saw the live feeds of everything, the rescue, so not much spoiler with this movie, with what we're talking about today, because the trailer shows you pretty much everything that happens in the movie, and we already know what happened in the movie because it happened in real life. So I want to talk a little bit about what I liked about the movie, what I didn't like about the movie, and then, my final thoughts, because in the end, this is something that you're going to probably want to go see this weekend or not. Let's get into the pros. The pros of the movie: Tom Hanks. I honestly do not think that he can make a bad movie. I know there are some out there, but honestly, the guy chooses good roles. He chooses good movies to be in, and he is a good actor. He does well in everything he goes into. So I really liked him in this movie. I thought he played the part well. I don't know much about Chesley Sullenberger, which is the character that Tom Hanks plays. Short for Sully is what his nickname in the movie. I thought he did a good job. Now, I don't know all the details of what went through the pilot's life after the crash in the river, but I think he pulled that off pretty well. I'm assuming that he got a lot of input from the actual pilot since he lived to tell the story. Tom Hanks pulls out a great performance, as always, in movies that he does. I don't think that he plays the same character each time, which I like. I love that he does a different character every movie he does, not like some other actors who basically play the same personality and role in every movie they do. Tom Hanks does not. He really does his research, he really does his homework and gets into the character's mind and does it right. So Aaron Eckhart as well. He plays such a great supporting character in the movie, the co-pilot in the story, and I thought every line that he delivered was done just right. He had some great one-liners. He had a great part in this movie as well. The movie is basically centered around the two pilots, the captain and then the co-pilot, mainly Sully, obviously, hence the name. But you see a lot of interaction between Aaron Eckhart and Tom Hanks. In all reality, they carry the movie throughout the whole hour and 36 minutes that this is. And I love the fact that they were able to really work together as good as they did. So they cast that role, or those roles, just right. Laura Linney is in this movie as well, and she was underutilized, I thought. She plays Tom Hanks' wife in the movie. We get to see her throughout the movie, a few phone calls that he makes throughout the movie to talk to her. There's not much there, and the whole time in the movie, I always felt like we were going to get a little more story behind her and him. There was a part of the movie where they ask about the wife. I don't know, it's almost like there was more and they cut that out. I don't know why, maybe for time purposes, but I don't know. Her character just kind of felt out of place for me. So talking about cons, that's probably where I would point some of the cons in this movie, is that part of the story just kind of felt out of place. I know they added that in there because they needed to have, obviously they're communicating when this happened, but I don't know. It almost felt like they didn't really need to have that in the movie. Some of the other cons of the movie that I ran into was the pacing of the movie. Like, they kept jumping back and forth. Off the bat, I made my mind about this movie, how they were going to present it. I felt like they were going to basically start with the crash and then kind of give us a story of what happened afterwards, the aftermath. And they pretty much did that, but throughout the movie, as they're telling us a story, because they basically did start with, here's the crash, or actually they start with, after the crash, and then you see the crash, but then we get, throughout the whole movie, different angles of the crash, almost like seeing it from different points of views. And physically too, like we're actually seeing the plane from inside the plane, outside of the plane, from different locations around the Hudson River. That I like that part of it. This was shot in IMAX, so that looks really cool up on the big screen. This is definitely a big screen movie theater movie that you should probably watch in IMAX, shot with IMAX cameras. There are some scenes in the movie that felt a little, I don't know, is it still too soon? I don't want to give away some of the major things that happen in the movie. I want you to see it, but just so you know, there's just some stuff in there that might hit home. Again, this is definitely not a spoiler review, but it's hard to talk about this movie when we already know the story. So in the end, the movie Sully is definitely a Oscar contender for this year. I'm pretty sure. Tom Hanks does a great performance. Aaron Eckhart does a great performance. And those two really make this movie fun to watch. They dragged the movie as much as they could. I mean, it's an hour and 36 minutes. And I think that they really needed to make this movie that long, because in all honesty, the whole crash of the plane lasted 200 seconds, and the aftermath was basically just a few days. So they had to really get creative with extending that movie to the length that they have it. If I were to score this one, I'd probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. Again, this is more of a slower paced movie for me, but I still had fun. So go watch Sully. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. I'm very curious to see what people think of these kind of movies. If you've seen American Sniper by Clint Eastwood or any other movies he makes. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I want to be able to keep coming back each week and reaching more people about my thoughts. And as always, I hope that you guys are watching movies, because I know that I am.